This is Marcy holding Jack. We don't have the video of his very first week of lessons with me. He was diagnosed as autistic just a little over a year old. He never interacted or hugged his mother, had no receptive language, could walk, and manipulated objects quite well. Here it's the second visit. By this time Jack already had receptive language, and I realized early on that even though he could move, his back and lower back and movement were very undifferentiated. Here you can see he's already interacting with his mother. He came to California to see me from New York for 5 days every 3 months, and then in between saw Marcy for 2 or 3 lessons per week. Jack improved dramatically in his language capacities, intellectual capacities, and motor capacities, and became very, very social. Yet at this stage, if he didn't get lessons for more than 2 weeks, he began regressing. So we made sure he keeps getting continuous lessons for approximately 2 years. Okay, you did well. Yes, you did very well.
He works. Yes.
Next time, call me. Don't wait the next deadline.
He works.
And
I worked one time my suitcase. I feel like I just have a big trouble.
Today, Jack is mainstreamed in first grade. He's doing socially very well. He no longer falls apart in loud, crowded spaces. His disability was downgraded from autism to attention deficit disorder, which I don't think he has anymore either. And we just spoke with the mother, and apparently he's facing now some learning challenges and should be coming back to get some lessons to help him with that. An important part of our success with Jack was that we got him at such a young age. This is Daniel. He is an autistic child. Again, we don't have the initial series of lessons on video, but he was crying and drooling and holding onto a toy and very concave and into himself. Here he's already moving much better, but look, here he does these typical autistic hand movements, and you see in a moment I will do something with his arm that will give him an alternative access to the hand and actually feel the hand, because when he does the movements, those automatic movements, he has no idea. Look, he's listening to himself, and now he's trying to do it himself. So he's very happy with it. And now here, he completely participates. He's actually laughing and feels how he can arch his back and lift his tush off the floor, which will give him more. That's right, that's control over his, not just his legs, but actually his arms. So see, his arms are very quiet now, and most importantly, he's attentive to himself. This is a child that cried all the time, had no idea what's happening to him or around him. And look at the quality of his movement and his joy and his participation. At this moment, this autistic child is not autistic at all. He's playing with me, he's responding to my instructions to throw a toy. And look here, he's learning how to feed himself. There were big issues with feeding. And again, me just guiding him a little bit and suggesting. He's very aware of what he's doing. He's no longer out to another world. This is Julia. Here she's about 5 years old. I saw her first when she was 2. Quite severe case of autism. She had enormous amount of fears, like phobias from tassels and other things. And it was impossible to turn her over. And I realized quickly that she had real issues with processing information coming from her vestibular system. So I focused on that a lot, but I don't have any videos of that from those lessons. She also had no I. She couldn't say, I want, or that's me. She would say, Julia wants chocolate. She would talk as if somebody was asking her a question. Now, within the first series of lessons, she started getting her first I and me. And here you see that's a child that I can give her instructions and have her feel what she's doing or not doing with her lower back and how to use it. We've had quite a big stop between now and about a year earlier because the mother had another baby and they come from the Midwest. Now here I'm telling her to round her back and feel what she's doing, and then I'm telling her to arch her back so she would feel how to get tall. Thank you, honey. You did really well.
Am I done?
Yes, you are. Julia made remarkable strides, and as you can see here, she's not only listening to me, she's also listening to herself. Now, she still had issues. She was not like 100% a normal child, but she was able to function fully in school and did much better.